The following is a review of a comic book and is not an endorsement of the creators involved, including their weird internet fantasies, which I have seen. All of them. Thanks to the therapy, I cry less these days.
StarCraft here, and well, sorry about missing yesterday. I had a dentist appointment and it put me in a lot of pain, so wasn't able to get through it. But well, we're here to talk about the last of not just the X-Men The End trilogy, but also the last of the classic era The End books. X-Men The End, Book 3, Men and X-Men. Does it finally give answers to what's been going on? Do we finally get some good resolution? Well, let's find out. We open up with some narration as we see Wolverine and Psylocke down the line, it's seemingly being alright. As Xavier is explaining things, and it turns out Illiandra is behind the War Scrolls. And although that's what it believes, although Xavier is like, we have no direct connection. Sorry. With Illiandra, although everyone else seems to believe it is. So Xavier plans on going there to try and find out what's going on. Cyclops thinks it's a very bad idea. As we still have some more interactions with Bobby flirting with the ladies. Man, I missed that. We see a lot of people getting ready to give farewells. For example, we have this one character named Pub, who's a teleporter, who teleports the kids all back, so you have Scott and Emma all hugging them all, well, Scott hugging them all anyway, and happy for them. We see Xavier giving a farewell to Kitty, saying how proud he is of her as they're ready to leave. He then sends a message out to he's basically explaining everything to her, what the plans are and all that, and how this is what has to be done. And Kitty is completely upset, and she says, "Oh, Professor, I take back what I said years ago. I never thought you were a jerk." So yeah, we then see Gambit posing as Sinister arriving with Rachel and Cable and I forget the other guy's name right at this moment. But they arrive on the Shi'ar ship as whoever it is helping him is ready to basically threaten him, but Gambit keeps up the act pretty damn well. As we also find out how Ilea, that's Bishop and Desper's daughter, was been infected by the brood that took over her mother years ago. We also have, Jean and Logan meet up, and they are so happy together. And trust me, actually, I will give Claremont this. He does come up with a resolution for this. But, basically, this is all in their dream, in Logan's dreams as Jean is talking to him. Basically, how saying, they're the Phoenix and all that stuff, and just a nice little farewell, just explaining how those two have loved each other. We have Scott and Charles giving a farewell, as again, Charles is just saying goodbye to everyone as he's ready to go. You can have Magneto, who's finally properly being utilized. He and Polaris are utilizing their powers to open a portal to let them all through. But as soon as they arrive, they are surrounded by a bunch of the Shi'ar Guard. But Illiandra orders them all to stand down. As again, we continue to show more. We see Emma and Mystique, along with all the kids, are standing there. As we start seeing how a young person aiding Kitty got attacked for being a mutant lover, and beaten to death. Again, they still have Gambit, posing on, as we find out just how far Illiandra has gone. How basically they still blame him for what happened with Cassandra Nova and everything, and they're all, Gambit and the others are still trying to figure out what's going on. And also this guy who Sinister's been working with has been wanting to overthrow Illiandra, it turns out. As Illiandra continues to explain everything, and yeah, he basically tries to ask who was responsible. Was it the Shi'ar? And yeah, basically they are, she's dancing around the bush and everything, bringing up how the Immensity, aka Cassandra Nova, was seemingly responsible. They continue on, talking about everything, how she's had to make some tough decisions, how power mad her brother was, and etc., etc. When then he enters her mind, sees some images back from when the Shi'ar had attacked and killed the Summers family, and we find out that so it seems anyway, that Cassandra Nova has taken over Illiandra. I do love this bit where Polaris is struggling and Bobby uses his powers to keep her all cooled up and everything. It's nice and sweet. But then things start to go downhill when all of a sudden then Plutonia, one of the Royal Guard, jumps in, attacks Magneto, and seemingly kills him, causing a big detonation. She absorbs his power. Then jumps right through and does the exact same to Polaris. But then we're also finding out how Cassandra seemingly is talking and taking control through Ilea as she attacks Jean. Yeah, Cassandra has been making her move. She's been responsible behind all this, coming right back to Morrison's era. And so we then see how a bunch more brood eggs that have been hiding around are actually being utilized. Because it turns out Cassandra has been working through the brood, which makes sense given how Illiandra was the one who brought the brood through, and now if Cassandra's been controlling Illiandra, makes sense. But yeah, Plutonia is ready to overload from all of the magnetic energy that they had absorbed. But then Hub jumps through and teleports her and Plutonia into space before she explodes, knowing it was a one-way trip. Then we find out that we see Polaris waking up, talking over with Bobby. Basically, it's good to see you, but I'm not here for long. Turns out this is all Magneto's doing, trying to keep the portal open long enough. He's using his magnetic powers and her magnetic powers to keep things alive just a little longer. As so many of the other X-Men jump on through, and we get a nice tearful farewell between Bobby and Polaris. Then Magneto, who is again keeping his now basically being a magnetic energy, has declared that my daughter is dead. Humanity can breathe a little easier, Cyclops. The line of Lyncher is no more. So much for Charles' hope of peace. Now these Shi'ar will learn in their everlasting sorrow how this old man makes war. A great final moment, a great moment for Magneto, if you ask me. As when we cut back to, we see a few more people in the future, a bit further in the future. So we see Kitty, is trying to talk about what happened with the poor kid who was murdered. How feeling like this is wrong. This should not be how it happens. We have all of the X-Men fighting against the Shi'ar, kind of reminiscent of the Dark Phoenix Saga. Everyone is just coming in fighting, as we even have Captain Britain there helping out as well, when X-23 helps him out. We then see Charles feels like he has no choice but to kill Illiandra, but it turns out it wasn't Illiandra. It was the stuff, or whatever it is, that they kept Cassandra Nova in, and she's ready to do the same thing to what Charles did to her all those years ago. But instead of trying to reteach her, which is what Morris implied would eventually work out. This case, she wants to drain him entirely. As we now see how Khan, the Shi'ar Kahn, is talking with Gambit, who finally reveals himself and starts to attack the guy, putting up a good fight, but it's seemingly futile until Gambit uses one of his last cards and takes him with her, and takes him with him. Sorry, they both blow up together. As they continue on fighting, we see Archangel, unfortunately getting killed by one of the Shi'ar, which really sets off Scott something fierce. Then we see Dust, remember that's really Madame Pryor, snap a Shi'ar person's neck. We then see Rachel make her way into Xavier's mind, seeing all of these images. As we then see Charles is having all this stuff just pouring right out of him. His entire intelligence just goo on the floor. As then Cassandra Nova taunts Rachel, singing that she's Jean, and she's ready to deal with her. As he walks over and tastes Xavier's intellect. And then we have, it looks like he's ready to kill both Rachel and Illiandra. And she does. Well, at least Illiandra anyway. As more and more of Xavier's intellect just keeps on falling out. We then see Nightcrawler and his family in the future. As Kitty keeps on, is talking with a psychiatrist about what's been going on. As now we have a beat at, what I should point out, the young child, that was Illiandra and Charles' son. He is then claiming that Xavier killed his mother, that they must all die. When it's made eventually very, very, very clear that turns out the son is, let me see if it's revealed at any point yet. Hold on. Nope, it's not stated, but it should be made very clear. The son is where Illiandra jumped into and hid. So it's taking control and manipulating everything through the son, controlling his mother. So yeah, we see, again, the fight continues on as Cable keeps on helping out. You have them dealing with this giant Shi'ar. As, yeah, Cassandra finally drains everything out of Charles. He's pretty much brain dead, as he's now a complete and empty slate. But then Rachel makes her move, ready to attack, ready to use the Phoenix Force, her portion of it on him. As Aliyah is talking with the Brood, she's pretty much been taken over by the Brood Queen. But then as the Brood are attacking, Bishop makes his way to his daughter, not aware of what's been going on. As they're trying to capture Jean and everything. But then, he finally meets up with Illiandra, and she reveals who she is, that she's his daughter. And Bishop was there trying to help Jean out, get Jean. But then you see that Cassandra Nova seems to have gotten the one up on Rachel. As it turns out, nope, it was all, and you thought it was an illusion? Nope, it was an illusion. I was giving you the illusion. As things continue to get worse and worse, until Dazzler, Flash, using one of Dazzler's idea, is able to seemingly calm things down. But then you see that Charles has arrived. Cassandra Nova taking over and utilizing some of the Phoenix power through Jean, because now they have a hold of Jean. We now see Illiandra and Bishop, where Illiandra is taking over the Shi'ar Empire. As we see more with the campaign going on. Illiandra explaining to Bishop who she is to her father, about Deathbird. You think for a moment that Psylocke is dead. Spoilers, she really isn't. It's an illusion. But yeah, you have Xavier just starting, Cassandra Nova and Xavier's body going to town, utilizing both her powers and with her brother's. So Scott has to take an extreme measure and take off Cassandra's head, realizing that's too dangerous. Unfortunately, with their combined form, they've transcended corporeal form and then starts to use Magneto's powers, siphoning it. X-23 tries to get a hit in, doesn't do so well. Now here's something, is her arm supposed to be robotic? I don't get it. Then you have Cable trying to use his power to take care of everything. This is where Scott reveals that he's known that Madeline has been posing as dust. It's a little flattered, but he wasn't sure of her intentions. Then Cassandra Nova takes over X-23, sicking her on everyone. They have to fight off with her quite a bit as Cassandra Nova is ready to continue on with her attack. But everyone just keeps on putting up a good fight. We then get to Ilea, the Brood Queen, against actually let's forget his son, but basically with Cassandra and with Illiandra and Charles' son. And the Brood Queen through Ilea kills him. And then Jean is reactivated as the Phoenix, trying to help Cable out with his power, finally letting loose control and letting the techno-organic virus take over him, ready to kill Cable as they seemingly kill off Cassandra. Madame Pryor is devastated because remember, Cable was her son, not Jean's. But then you have Jean is ready to resurrect them all, even though Cable is saying, please just let me die. You see Wolverine is still, he's not been involved at all. Looks like he's on the way of dying. Then all of a sudden, a huge blast just goes right through Jean as everyone starts to go nuts. Logan starts to keel over. Kitty has seems to collapse as we find out. And then Jean, her fiery head lands on Scott, killing him. As we then point out how they never stood a chance. Cassandra Nova's power attitude with Charles's. Turns out she took over Rachel and is able to recreate a new body and comes right out of Rachel's head as she now has the Phoenix Force. You gotta say that old lady with that Phoenix body? No. But yeah, Rachel is pretty much falls over dead, but with one last tearful look as now Cassandra has the Phoenix Force. You have Beast trying to save Logan. You have everyone going in for the attack, but it's up almost no good. Then you have Dazzler trying to, try to blow her head off. It doesn't take because of the Phoenix power. Everyone just wails in, and nope, it's not working still. You have them continue, and Bishop tries to use his power to absorb her energy. Doesn't do much good. The Brood Queen finally comes right out of Ilea, and Cassandra Nova kills the Brood Queen, but sparing Ilea. As things continue on fighting, you have Madame Pryor finally ready to make her move, revealing what's been happening. Somehow, some way, when she was created, she was a part of Jean the whole time. The part that loved Scott. It's why their marriage failed. She is the essence of Jean that loved Scott with all of her heart. And that's why, it never worked between them afterwards. All this was a distraction, though, for Psylocke to jump in and stab Cassandra Nova with her side blade, pretty much killing her mind. As thanks to Madeline, she sacrifices herself to reawaken Jean and Cyclops. As they're trying to figure out what else to be doing, and as it looks like the sun's about ready to go Nova. And eventually then they're talking with Cassandra Nova about how they're ready to transcend, to move on. As they're trying, and she's ready, fighting to the bitter end. But then Charles basically says, no, this is what we need to do. We need to just transcend to help out with everything. We are all dead, we should just move on. And basically reveals they're all afraid, and Jean just talks it over. And she and Charles and Cassandra and Charles, brother and sister, hold hand as they all soon form the Phoenix symbol, and they move on. Then along with Magneto among others. 20 years later, we find out that Kitty has become, president of the United States. The Speaker of the House ends up being her rival when she was running for governor. or May, or one of the two. And then it turns out, why did you change your mind? Because she realized that part of me hoped that you had died right then and there. But then it also points out the Bobby Kennedy quote she's all part and Kitty's so fond of. I don't remember exactly which one it is, but yeah, basically they're all happy, and we see Kitty give this big passionate speech about the X-Men and how through all the struggle's never finished, it never will be, but for the sake of their children, those around it, we should make a start. And basically we see everyone who has died looking down, everyone is alive watching on as the future continues. So that was the final book and the end of, well, X-Men the End. And overall, a lot of the explanations do work. Playing off on Cassandra Nova was very interesting, makes a lot of sense. She's a fitting final antagonist. A lot of the deaths felt a bit more earned compared to some of the other ones. But at the same time, though, it's still like, did we really need to be this convoluted to get to this point? Really? And now there would be a Gen Next book that would supposedly take place after this, but given how some characters that died in this trilogy are still alive, that's up for debate. But overall, though, this was a very good, satisfying ending, if a mess. It's one of those messy good, is what I would say. So, that's X-Men the End. Either today or tomorrow, I'll eventually be doing the Captain Marvel the End. You'll be surprised at my opinion on this one. So, I'll catch you all guys later. See ya.